So, imagine you're watching a movie, okay? And you say to yourself or to some buddies in a scene, what's the stupidest thing that could possibly happen in this scene? Now imagine every scene in the movie for 2 hours and 45 minutes is the stupidest thing that you can imagine in a movie, and you have Fast X. So, my buddy Brian just left. I have only seen part 1, part 2, and part 8. Okay? The first one is like everybody's... in the first movie they were stealing HD DVD players. Yes. And then it was like Point Break with street racing. And then part 2 was like that, but like with a Latin beat. And then I saw part 8 when I was part of that other show, and Charlize Theron like hacked into every self-driving car in New York and turned it into like a zombie movie. And I was like, I don't know how we got here, but whatever. So we knew we were going to watch this tonight. We're a couple days late because I've just been busy as fuck. My buddy Brian had seen all of them at this point. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has a talking tree and a raccoon that can shoot laser guns. And it is a more believable movie than Fast X. And you could take that to the fucking bank, man. Charlize Theron, John Cena, and Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is essentially playing Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face in Batman Forever, and he's great. He's in a completely different movie than everyone else. They're way too fucking good for this movie. I was asking my buddy Brian, I was like, what do you think the tank top budget was for this movie? Everyone, like, okay, you have like Ludacris and Tyrese and the girl from Game of Thrones, and they're like the Fast and and then the Asian dude who died in the third movie. They're like the team, okay? But then you have like Rita Moreno and Helen Mirren, and apparently Helen Mirren is Jason Statham's mom in this series. A lot you gotta know. It's like fucking reading a Frank Herbert novel. You have a flow chart of characters. And because characters who died and people told me they were dead, like Gal Gadot and who else was dead? I don't know, a bunch of fucking people. Gal Gadot shows up at the end. So does The Rock, because Black Adam failed and Wonder Woman 84 failed. And they're like, oh shit, hey, dude who directed the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, can you give us a job? This is 2 hours and 45 minutes of just like, it's a cartoon. The shit that they play essentially live action Rocket League while stopping a bomb from blowing up the Vatican. There's like the dude who played Hawk on Titans is part of this. He's also Jack Reacher. Brie Larson is in the movie, and Hawk and Captain Marvel meet in a set that looks like it wasn't fully rendered green screen or blue screen space, like it's a video game cutscene, or like a full motion video scene. Everyone talks in like trailer exposition lines. Anytime that Vin Diesel or Michelle Rodriguez are on camera, any momentum or fun is just fucking sucked out of the movie. Like, Vin Diesel is a charisma fucking vacuum. I understand why these movies are as popular as they are. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, it's the GED James Bond series. And you go, okay, it's not for me. The funny thing I did do was when I built this movie last Wednesday night, I I put all like trailers before it, like Oppenheimer and Asteroid City, like art house darling things before Fast X. One of the girls who works at the theater, I came in to the other theater early the other day, and she's like, "What is Fast X?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the 10th Fast and the Furious movie." And she goes, "What does the X mean?" And I was just like, hiring practices before I started here were lax. Um, I don't. The villain from the fifth movie or the sixth movie, his son is Aquaman, and he's out for revenge, and he's gonna make Dom suffer. The audience suffers whenever Dom is on screen. Dude looks like AI art. He doesn't look like a person. Like I would just looking at Vin Diesel is like looking into the uncanny valley. We said if we changed the tint on it, he would look like Shrek. Like he looks like a hot dog in a tank top, you know. And they bring back like the necklace thing, and it reminded me of like when they tried to make the dice thing in Solo into a thing. Michelle Rodriguez, like every scene they have together just sucks any of the momentum out of the movie. You know, and this is a movie where like Pete Davidson shows up for a scene. It's actually pretty funny. Jason Statham has a dude in a heavy bag in his underwear, and they don't explain where or what or how that happened. Rita Moreno shows up for a barbecue, because you got to have a barbecue because it's all about family. I said we should take a shot every time someone says family. We die before the third reel was up. Cars don't. There's no physics or logic or science. Like I live in Philadelphia, and like our roads are like the surface of the moon, and like I've just gingerly tapped a pothole, and the entire bottom of my car was just like, fuck you. Here, cars are being dropped out of military airplanes that can reverse in midair. Like if you told me, oh well, this is based on a comic book, I would go, okay, that makes sense. But no, this started out as a movie about street racing and stealing HD DVDs. Lil Bow Wow never shows up. I've seen clips of the third one. I kept waiting for Lil Bow Wow to show up. He's nowhere to be found. Jason Statham does show up. Helen Mirren shows up for one scene. Rita Moreno's in it for one scene. Everyone just speaks in metaphor to each other. Every scene of this script is like one of those things where it's like, I made my computer watch 100 hours of whatever, and this is this. I made my computer watch. No, I made a monkey with brain damage watch 9 Fast and the Furious movies and write me the 10th script, and that's what this is. Saying that, these movies are brilliant because you have all these actors and musicians and rappers and all these different things from all these different places, and they all have their own following in different countries, and different genres, and then they put them all in one movie, and it's like a debutante ad, I'd like to buy the world a Coke kind of thing, and everyone comes together and just makes tons and tons of fucking money for the studios. Do you know after the third movie, all of these were going to start going to, like, direct to DVD, and then, like, the fourth one was just called the Fast and Furious or something, and then it re-jolted this entire fucking thing, and now you've got Academy Award-winning actors acting alongside Pete Davidson, like I said, Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez's things in this movie, I know it's setting up the next one, because it ends on a cliffhanger, literally they're on a cliff at the end. And it's setting up the next two. I guess they're going to have, like, the Infinity Gauntlet story of the Fast and the Furious movies. You've got Charlize Theron, who's an Academy Award-winning actress. You have Brie Larson, who's an Academy Award-winning actress. Rita Moreno, Helen Mirren, like, acting in scenes where Hollywood is still trying to make us think that, Tyrese is funny. Or that fucking dead-eyed CGI uncanny valley Vin Diesel has any charisma whatsoever. That's why like you couldn't have him and The Rock together, because The Rock is just doing the same fucking thing in every movie, but he's still the show. This like John Cena is way too fucking good for this movie. Brie Larson, you know, she doesn't have much to do, but I guess she's apparently, because I didn't see the ones that Kurt Russell was in, but I guess she's Kurt Russell's daughter. These movies are lucky there's never any traffic either. Like, a lot of this movie's problems could be solved if there was just traffic. Uh, I, I don't know. I'm still trying to process the 2 hour and 45 minute long thing that I just saw. Or that, like, there's just, like, terrible continuity issues in this movie. At the first barbecue that they're having, Ludacris moves over a seat, leaving a gap seat, but in the very next scene, he's next to him again. Or, like, Dom is, I think he's supposed to be Italian, Toretto, and his wife that he had the baby with was Spanish, but their son is black. But in the pictures, because Jason Momoa has, like, a slideshow of, like, taking Dom's life apart, the baby is clearly a white baby, and I was just like, what is happening? But we're in the 10th fucking movie, you know? We're at the point where Jason goes to space, which, again, that same employee that didn't know what X meant thought I was lying about Jason going to space. So I told them, well, you should watch Schlock and All Films and watch the review I did of Jason X, with, my buddy Cam, but, that's shameless plug. These are not well-made movies. There's, again, a ton of action, but because logic is gone at this point, and, tires can be on fire and cars can drive down the side of the Hoover Dam. They actually stopped the movie at one point to have a street race scene to remind us that, like, oh yeah, that's what these movies are about. And granted, salsa, spicy Latin chicks in booty shorts shaking them at the camera, I'm fine. I needed that time to breathe from all the other fucking insanity that was going on. You have this overly convoluted plot of Jason Momoa's character draining the bank accounts of our secret agent, street racing, hacker, ninja, fighting, G.I. Joe, Transformer force of racer guys. The Revengers, let's call them the Revengers. They're draining that, and then he's buying a personal army. And then he goes and he takes out Charlize Theron, and so that they can have the line where it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, again, because everyone just speaks in metaphor and trailer lines in this movie to each other. He kidnaps the children of all of the guards that are protecting Charlize Theron, except for one dude who only has a cat, so he kills him. And I was like, ouch, motherfucker, just because no one loves me but my cat, Is that how I'm gonna die? I'm gonna get killed by Jason Momoa, who, again, is the best part of this entire fucking movie. He's playing like this, like, over-the-top, kind of effeminate 80s bad guy Joker, when they go to Rio de Janeiro, and we know it because they show Christ the Redeemer like 100 times in establishing shots. The one of the girls who died in one of the other movies' sisters has to help them, and the picture of her that her sister has on the wall is like a screenshot from one of the other movies, because they go, look, this audience is way too fucking stupid to remember these characters, so we're just going to use an actual image from the film. And that's how you're like, well, they're not going to kill that person because they don't have a picture of them that's clear enough from the movie before that to use in this movie. John Cena is like, he's listening. He does a whole dissertation about Marky Mark as the rapper Marky Mark. He's like, that guy was he's a rapper, and he was a underwear model before he was an actor. And I was like, remember when Mark Wahlberg also committed a hate crime and tried to kill an Asian dude because he was Asian, but then became like a born again Christian, and then tells everybody that the best movie he ever did, which is Boogie Nights, he's ashamed of doing because he's a born again Christian. And so when people always say that they're a born again Christian, I say, well, excuse me for choosing correctly the first time. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, John Cena. He's the best part of this movie. He's just really funny. He's got like a bat cave in like Peru, and then he's walking around the entire movie with like what we think is like a kayak, but it turns out to be like a drop ship that functions on alcohol. That they're on a commercial airplane that just so happens to have like a drop, like it's gonna drop like a fucking bomb. It doesn't. There's nothing makes any sense and nothing matters. They keep putting the white kid who's now a black kid in harm's way constantly. I don't know. This movie has like broken my brain. Like I said, imagine the stupidest thing that you could possibly imagine. Then imagine that for 2 hours and 45 minutes. My buddy who watched it with us was mad at me that he saw it with me, and he's just like, I'm mad that I came up here tonight and watched this. I laughed. You get to a certain point where it's just everything is so stupid and makes so little sense that you just have to just laugh at it. But again, I understand why these fucking movies are as popular as they are and why they've made fucking 10 of them. So for that, congratulations, you Hollywood, you did it again. I hope you're proud of yourself. Just take Vin Diesel out of these movies and they'd be so much more fun. Like, Ludacris can't fucking act, but there are some funny lines in the movie. These must be really fun to be in if you're an actor. I got to imagine if you're a continuity person, you fucking blow your brains out. I don't know. I've been talking for 17 minutes. I don't know what the plot was. I don't know I don't know where these movies are going. It's owned by Universal Studios. Universal also owns Jurassic Park. Fucking tie those two together. I wish Universal owned the Transformers movies, because at the end when he's on the dam and there's two self-driven tractor trailers, it's like, oh, it'd be fucking... You wouldn't see it coming if one of them turned out to be Optimus Prime. And even then, Peter Cullen, as a voice actor of a giant talking robot, has more charisma than Vin Diesel as a, we think, flesh and blood person. Again, I'm still not convinced that he's not a deep fake. Yeah, they made 10 of these. These movies started coming out. These movies predate 9/11. Because my senior year in high school, I was a manager at a movie theater. I've done so much with my life since then. The first one came out. And I was like, holy shit, that was 20-something years ago. All right. I wanted to just straight up, like, just explain the plot to you. Like, not add any snark or anything like that. But I felt like trying to logically build the gaps in my head, you guys would just watch me get, like, a nosebleed. Because my brain is just like, well, I'll see you guys later. Yeah. Fast 10. It didn't go by fast, and now that I think about it, I'm kind of furious. It's even funnier, though, to only see 1, 2, 8, and 10, and just have to go by what people explain to me. They're like, well, Gal Gadot died, and you saw her body, yet she's alive now, and the Asian dude was dead, but now he's alive because they faked his death. And they lost the necklace a bunch of times, but now that's back. And that's like the big thing in this movie is they keep giving it to another person to prove that Dom is still alive, because he can like fight everybody, and he uses like he takes down 2 helicopters with just Nas, not the rapper, like the stuff in the car. Which gave me an idea. I was like, I want to do a Fast and Furious, but like for monsters, and call it Nas Feratu. he like pinballs the bomb as it's rolling down the street in Rome, and again, they're this super secret organization, yet they like their house is in like the hood, but there's all these like multi-million-dollar like cars outside. Like if I was the bad guys, I'd go, there they are. And how about like it'd be really easy to find them. They're just fucking constantly having barbecues and exchanging monotone exposition to each other. I don't know. If you're a big fan of these movies and I just sound like a fucking negative asshole, that's fine. I apologize. No, you know what? I don't. I don't. Jason Momoa, Charlize Theron, and John Cena look like they're fucking having a blast because nothing matters. Especially Jason Momoa. But whenever it tries to be like a serious movie, you just go like, no, like your tires are on fire and you're driving down the Hoover Dam. You just reversed out of an airplane and then like went forward in midair, like. And I know because my name is Newton, and that's Isaac Newton. I don't know. I should have stopped a while ago, like these movies.